stream. We're going to watch this video because I need to look into it. This is a video about will Arc Raiders eclipse Marathon? I have heard a lot about Marathon. I've heard a lot about, not Marathon, oh, idiot, Arc Raiders because of Marathon. A lot of people have talked about it. I've seen a lot of glazing. I don't know anything about Arc Raiders. I've watched about half this video, so I'm going to start from the beginning. But honestly, I don't know what to really expect from this game. But my comment section has talked a lot about it, and I've seen people glaze it. I did already try to apply to play the alpha or whatever testing they do, and just like Marathon, I didn't get it. So it's like, whatever. So it's not like people are going to assume that I'm going to glaze this thing out of spite of Marathon. When I think of extraction shooters, the only one that I'm really interested in playing is just Tarkov. And even that one I suck ass at.
I'm going to be talking about this game a bunch more this coming week because what's an extraction shooter? And it's actually going to be competing directly with Marathon. And I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that for my PvE players, even though extraction shooters might not be your thing, this one's got something pretty good in that department. But let's take a look at this real quick.
By the way, Embark, they're the ones that made, aren't they the ones that made Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk was made by, who made this? No, CD Projekt Red. Yeah, CD Projekt Red. Who the hell said that Embark made someone on Twitter was talking about how CD Projekt Red made this, or not CD Projekt, but Embark made Project Cyberpunk. Sorry, Project Studio game. I'm just very interested. The finals, bro. Not only do I look like a dumbass, but the person on Twitter who tried to defend Bungie at Marathon and comparing it, they used Cyberpunk, but Embark didn't even make them. Okay, that's a Twitter thread I need to go back to.
How's your day, honey?
Pretty intense, but I brought something for you.
Where'd you find all these things?
Here and there, you know.
Did you run into Ark?
I did, and I watch out for them, but they're the least of my problems.
I'm gonna say it. The voice acting sounds like ass. But I don't care. Like, I play Tarkov. They speak Russian, so it's not like I understand what they're saying anyways.
All the raiders I've met say the same thing. You cannot control what happens up there.
Okay. Why does this look like Destiny? Like if you're on the EDZ or the Cosmodrome, why does this look like Destiny?
But you can decide how you deal with it.
Hey, Raider!
Oh my God!
Sort of alien right there.
Okay, my first impression is I'm not excited for it. Just like I'm not excited for Marathon. I do think a lot of people are going to be more appealed to the art design with Arc Raiders. Oh, right off the rip. Robots, I mean, that's cool. For some reason I'm getting like I'm getting like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare vibes. And it was fine. It was fine. I just didn't care for it when I played it way back in the day. And I used to be part of a clan that tried to be like pros. And we had like competitions and tournaments and stuff like that. Like it was just, listen, I was in high school. You can think it's cringe or whatever. I would agree with you, but I'm not sold.
God, dog man.
Where'd you
I
get
do
that
I do
back?
think I do think the art design and everything will be more appealing to the masses. It's going to be more received well. It's going to be received better by people who want a more modern look versus the, to put it nicely, Lego vibe of Marathon, like the color mesh.
I'd kill for that.
Oh, it's just a tech test. It's not even an alpha.
So, if you're wondering who Embark Studios are, The Finals is another game they made. Very good PvP game. One of my favorite PvP games. And I know some people are going to bring up the fact that maybe they're not doing that great in terms of the Steam charts. But for what it was and what it is, it's one of the most unique arena shooters I've ever played.
I've never played it.
Approach objectives differently every single time because everything can be demolished. You've got an objective that's 2 stories above you. You want to chop out the whole building. You can. What I'm trying to say with this is that these guys know how to make a good PvP game. Yes, it's a third-person shooter, but the things you heard.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I like Division. I don't mind third-person shooters. Third-person shooter like Extraction is definitely unique. It has more of a hook than what Marathon does because of that. However, people will not like it because it's third person. People love first person. Very few people like third person. I think it is a huge miss to not be able to do third and first person. Choose your poison. But the fact that it is third person, I absolutely know people will not like it because of that. Listen, I'm all about fair criticism when reviewing things. I'm a fair person. As much as people who are like, you just hate to hate, I'm actually very fair. I think I'm more fair than a lot of people because I don't let overall bias take over when I'm looking at a product. Because most people who think I'm biased would probably assume that I would glaze this thing to hell and back because it would make Marathon look bad. I think Marathon does that on its own. But I'm not going to glaze something or try to make it sound like I'm interested in something when I'm not. Like, I'm not going to glaze Baldur's Gate because I don't give a shit about Baldur's Gate. I'm glad it's a successful game, but to me, I could care less. It's not a game I'm interested in.
About like Marathon's gonna have, like, we've heard of like raid-like mechanics, right? You know, are there gonna be things that are gonna make the world evolve? They say that there's gonna be some evolving that occurs season to season. And then you've heard of things like bosses, potential bosses. Could we perhaps get a map down the road inside of Marathon where we have a boss? Well, at least at the time of the alpha here, guys, we haven't run up against anything like that, right? It's very much,
I don't know why everyone wants to try to make a PvP game PvE. At that point, you might as well just made a Marathon a PvP game with an arena side mode. Right? That's the commonality I've heard about Marathon is Marathon should have just been like a Doom remake, a rework, brought forward to the modern age, and then just had like a side PvP. Or do Halo. Halo had a badass single player campaign, and then it also had a badass multiplayer. Like, it's not like it hadn't been done before by Bungie.
an extraction shooter through and through. What I can tell you from my time playing Arc Raiders is that it's got those things. And that to me is what makes Arc Raiders pretty intriguing. I don't know if it's going to be for everyone, and I definitely don't like the fact that it's like, because again, originally when we first saw this game, we thought it was going to be a PvE game. I don't really like the fact that it's just another extraction shooter, but it is doing something differently in this aspect by having such a heavy emphasis on its PvE side of things. I think the things
that is actually going to actually pull Destiny players more. Again, I think a big handicap is the third person. I think that was just like you give PvE, but you give like, if you like, I think this is going to pull Division players. I think people who love Division or Warframe are going to love this game.
That are going to really rub people wrong, or at least not rub people wrong, but that's going to be an acquired taste is that it is
Yes.
a third-person shooter.
Yep.
And, you know, it kind of reminds me of like, you know, when the Division and Destiny were, you know, going head-to-head, right?
Yep.
One was a first-person shooter. A lot of people played Destiny because they preferred first-person shooter or the sci-fi elements. And then you had the Division, which was a third-person cover-based shooter, still a looter shooter, of course. If I recall correctly, this was a PvE game that was pivoted into extraction. We speculated that it was a PvE game. The devs stated this was always the direction they wanted to go, but I don't know. We thought it was going to be a PvE only game, but you know, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. What I'm asking you guys, do you think, and man, dude, it's not even just arc raiders. Marathon's got so much competition from so many different angles, right? From the already established extraction shooters. But let's just say, all right, these two games, if they go head to head, because it is interesting that the playtest we're going to be playing this Wednesday happens to coincide with the alpha that's happening with Marathon. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a release that's potentially.
Let's just test that thought. Okay, let's just look at the thought of this. Okay, so we have Marathon currently. What about Arc Raiders? How's Arc Raiders doing? Damn. And you don't have Shroud because Shroud really boosted the Marathon numbers, and he's not playing Arc Raiders to boost this number. Frostbolt and all these Destiny players are these Destiny players are playing all these Destiny players are playing Arc Raiders, and Marathon just got a buff. Like they just changed a bunch of stuff in Marathon. It's not like you're playing the same thing because they literally changed a bunch of stuff in Marathon. Holy crap, a bunch. The biggest player is literally Frostbolt. You traitor. How could you do that to Marathon against Bungie?
Within that same time frame, maybe that September time frame here. Are any of you interested in this? Not my cup of tea. You said Arc Raiders not your cup of tea. I guess it's gonna come down.
It's got to be
like
a third person, man.
Stuff, and we'll be playing it this Wednesday, and we'll also be talking about our review of it. Yes, maybe. Hell yes. No, I don't like no third person shooters.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big one.
That's where Destiny players kind of fall off there, guys.
Here's the thing, though. He's trying to think about Destiny players. Destiny players are a fucking niche. It would be stupid to try to pull. That's the biggest problem with Marathon is it's trying to be different from Destiny, but also pull from Destiny. And Destiny has a niche community. It should have never tried to target the Destiny community. And this game isn't trying to do that. It looks probably more like Division, but overall they need to try to go for as what? Arc Raiders didn't have much promotion as Marathon. I was about to say, are you having an issue with your keyboard, Winston? Arc Raiders didn't have as much promotion as Marathon. It didn't. It just came out of nowhere.
I Destiny players, every time I like bring up like a shooter to QJ, especially QJ's like, if it ain't first person, I don't want it. But here's the thing, man. If I had that mentality of like, if it's a third person, I don't want it, we would have missed out on bangers like Remnant and Remnant 2. You know what I mean?
I've never played them. I have no idea.
Some fantastic third person shooters. And so if this game can nail that, and it really is a surprise that they made this one a third person shooter. The finals was first person. Yeah, you've got like Warframe, Gears. Oh my God, what was the game we played? Warhammer, Helldivers as well. So again, I just because it's not first person, guys, I'm just saying don't count it out. You know what I mean? Like it really comes down to, you know, what is it that makes this extraction shooter more unique than what's currently on the market and more unique than Marathon that is going to be competing against. This isn't as sci-fi as Marathon, right? But
this looks more like Destiny 1-ish. You know, the vibe isn't as fantasy. It also has some Division vibe to it. A little bit, not a lot. It definitely more Destiny 1 than Division 1, but it has the Division 1 like third person. It's going to it is almost conflicting. Like the art and design is definitely going to vibe with more people, but the third person's what's going to hold it back. I personally could play first person, third person. It's not a big deal to me. Now, does this look like an extraction shooter I want to play? It reminds me of Division, and I think I would just rather play Division. Personally, I would just rather play Division. That's what it makes me think of as Division. And Marathon just makes me want to play Tarkov because it's just bad.
Got a lot more realism there. It's bold. It's bold. That's all I can say about Arc Raiders, guys, is that the direction they're taking, especially PvE combat, it's bold. And Luke's played more Arc Raiders than I've played. He says that he enjoys it more than Marathon, but we'll talk more this week. We'll be playing it on Wednesday, and we'll talk more later this week as well. What's the release price? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the release price, and that's an important question to ask.
It is very big.
A huge barrier right now for Bungie is, of course, the $40 price tag. Keep in mind, though, like just about every other extraction.
I'm going to be honest. This game, just based on what I've seen so far, looks more clean and refined. I would be more willing to give it $40 because it looks more complete. Again, we need more gameplay for me to make that real assessment, like kind of like how Bungie released gameplay. Now, maybe if I watch someone play the game itself, that will tell me. But based on this trailer, I can't be like, oh, a big ass robot. It looks more refined. Like I would be more willing to give it $40, but I still think even if it's worth the $40, there's still going to be people who are not going to want to do it because it's $40.
Action shooter, you have to pay to play.
The same thing with Marathon.
You know? But Mini, you do have to actually pay. And like Tarkov has some like crazy prices on theirs. Granted, they're the first, or one of the first. Are we gonna get Luke's thoughts?
Wait, back. What are you talking?
Granted, no. But Mini, you do have to actually pay. And like Tarkov has some like crazy prices on.
Okay, so I'm going to correct him. He's not doing this justice. The 250, if you look and see what you get, guaranteed access to closed beta. By the way, this is old, outdated. Digital copy preload, access to PvE, so you get the PvE. You could also just download mods that does it. But yes, you're paying extra for the PvE mode. Enhanced stash. You can unlock this by playing the game. Unique in-game ID. You don't need that to play the game. Expanded PMC pockets. Again, you get a certain amount of pockets. This gives you even more. You don't need this to play the game. Increased fence standing. This is the reputation. You can earn that just by playing the game. You don't need this to play the game. More slots on the flea market. Again, you can unlock that by playing the game. You're paying this. If you see what's going on here, people love to point out the Tarkov and the big price. Let me do you justice. Tarkov. This is what they don't want to show you. This is what every content creator who has a thing for like, for Marathon, they're not willing to show you. This thing will load. That'd be fantastic. Escape from Tarkov. I would like to escape. There you go. All right, let's go to purchase. Let's go to purchase. So you have the edition he's talking about. Then you've got the $100 edition. Then you got the 82 edition. The $50 edition. Let's see what you get. Guaranteed instance access. You get to play the game. Digital copy preload. Basic stash, bonus equipment at start include. By purchasing, you automatically agree to rules. So $50 lets you get the game. What's in the game? Well, let's see if they do a good enough job by showcasing what's in the game. Also, Arena is a different thing. So we're not talking about Arena because it's literally nothing to do with what we're talking about today. Literally the standard edition. Let's go to the wiki. You get the systems, you get access to all the gear. Let's just look at the maps. I'm just going to do this, makes life easier. Tarkov maps. I have to do this every time. I don't know why I do this for. All right. So there are 11 different locations in Tarkov. 10 have been released publicly so far, although eventually all maps will be connected. They're currently apart from. I think this is outdated because I think they are connected to a certain point. Anyways, yeah, I think they're currently connected. But you have all these maps and you get access to it and you get to play everything in the game, everything that's in the game for $50. Don't let anyone try to gaslight you. Everything else is just convenience. This is the way I explain this is like if you're playing Destiny, you buy the season pass or you get the season pass. There's an option to buy every rank in the pass. You can spend money to unlock everything on the season pass without actually leveling it up. Or you could just play the game and unlock it naturally. That's all that this is. It's just skipping. It gives you, you're paying for extras that you can earn in game. Except the only separation is literally the PvE, which you can buy separate. You can buy the PvE for $30 separate. So technically you could say $80 bucks. Does this come with the PvE? No, you just buy the game and then buy the PvE separate, which is still $82. Or you could download a mod and you don't have to pay anything because the mod lets you literally play PvE offline anyways, which is what you want to do. I'm tired of this crap right here. Whoop, not him. This, yeah, let's close that. This crap like this right here, where they're like, look at the prize. And it is very, it's a lie. It's a lie. And I'm not even a Tarkov stan. Let's just be clear. I'm not a Tarkov stan. I suck ass at it. I barely play it. But I like being fair. When people like to gaslight people saying, oh, you have to spend the $250 fucking dollars. You spend $50. It's 10 more than Marathon, yet you get 11 fucking maps. You get all this shit for $50. You get all access. You get nothing separate except for all the small extra things. That is it. Those for the whales that want to spend money on the extra things. You don't need it. Holy cheese whiz.
There's granted that the first, or one of the first. Are we gonna get Luke's thoughts in the review video? Yes. The finals so good, it's surprised it was free. Yes, that's true. The finals is free, right?
So it could be free.
Crazy. If Embark Studios rolls this game out and this game ends up being free as well,
it will kill Marathon.
Wild. The finals really is a good PvP.
Even if this is free, this will absolutely murder part of the fan base of Marathon because the people that do like third person will absolutely play this over Marathon.
Game, guys. I think just people, unfortunately, are not that crazy about arena shooters anymore. I personally love them, and I had a great time playing the finals, and I love just the tournament style and dynamic of it. But the fact that they made that game and it was free, oh my god. This game, if they end up making this game and it's free and it releases in September as well alongside Marathon, I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out, man. And here's the
You've got to think Borderlands will be out by the time it comes out. And there's a chance that Grand Theft Auto comes out in that slot now. Like,
it's just like in this situation, Bungie may have to go, all right, maybe we do change up our monetization plan with this. Arc Raiders is $40. Is that confirmed? Arc Raiders is $40. I'm sorry, Cross. I love Destiny 2, but I truly think Marathon is about to be the next Concord. Dude, you guys could be right. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I hear that a lot.
In the past. I've been wrong in the past. Some games we've called and said they were going to bomb. Other games we didn't think they were going to, I don't know. It just depends. Like, I would say for Marathon to be the next.
I think he's being very, like, he's trying to figure it out in his face. But I think the more things come out, like, this is really hard. Like, people were arguing about Marathon alone and then Borderlands, and now that got pushed back. But now there is a literal other extraction shooter, which gives people a lot of what they wanted in Marathon. It is hard for people to deny that this game is about to give Marathon competition. Like, I said it from the beginning, it does not matter if Bungie has Destiny gameplay in Marathon. Gameplay or the gunplay was not enough to save Destiny. It's surviving. It's not thriving. And you can't have that same expectation for a new game, a brand new game, especially PvP. Like, surviving is not where you should be shooting for.
Concord, guys, you gotta understand, dude. You know how many bad things have to happen? You know how terrible things would have to go? Catastrophic. I mean, it would have to be like 12 wrong moves all made consecutively, one after another, with each move being worse than the last. You would have to, I mean, even in its current state, it would still do better than Concord. Concord I think that's true. 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. And then they refunded. Marathon would be relevant in 2018, not now. We'll see, guys. We'll see. A lot of people are going to...
I think, here's the big deal. I think Marathon will absolutely have a niche population, like maybe smaller than Destiny for sure. But you've got to stop and realize that Halo Infinite has a very small, like even smaller than Destiny, and it is still surviving on microtransactions. Like, the servers are still up. as long as there are people who are willing to well out, that would be enough to keep the servers running. So let's be honest. I don't think it's going to crash like Marathon, crash like Concord. But that doesn't mean longevity. It might die off like Suicide Squad. Like I think it's going to be more like Suicide Squad, where it has its little population and then it just woo and it dips off. Like I feel like that's the case.
Same thing about Arc Raiders, because they're gonna be like, oh, another.
I misspoke. It wasn't pushed back. It got pushed forward. It's pushed forward.
Extraction shooter. And the same whenever we played Exoborn. I'm just so surprised that Embark has went this crazy with the PvE side of things, which makes us wonder, is there going to be a standalone PvE game mode? That's interesting. I don't know. You do that though, you're now catching that Helldiver player base and the Destiny player base, potentially Warframe. When can we play it? Wednesday. We will be playing this Wednesday. You got to understand numbers in its first like 2-3 months. And like, it blows my mind. It's like, even a game, if a game has like 10-15,000 players concurrent, you realize how many game developers would be so fucking proud. The only reason
I don't like, they be proud, but that's not paying the bills. And you've got to think these games have profit margins. Let's be honest. $15K for a new game. I'm so sorry. That is not good.
Reason why we
get
these numbers in our head where it's like, no, it's got to do hundreds of thousands, maybe up to 1 million. Guys, could be the next CS:GO or the next PUBG. Look, not every studio is bloated to hell and back. Some studios are modest, and some studios
Destiny is not, or Bungie is not one of them. We already know that they don't do well with money, which is why Sony's up their ass.
Actually make a game within a reasonable budget, and they would be very happy with 10,000 players concurrent. Super happy with that. Finals at 13,000 players on Steam right now. Yeah, that's still great, man. That's fantastic.
I think they do. Again, microtransactions can absolutely keep a game running.
Probably still very pleased with that.
Slap that like button.
Like, let's be honest. Warframe is 100% free, and they have their monetization, and they've been around since the beginning of Destiny 1 and never had any layoffs that I know of. And they haven't had to sell themselves or be bought out in order to survive. They've survived on the community and the microtransactions. So it's very possible, even if it's a niche and it doesn't have the biggest population, it could still thrive if the developers are smart with the money and how you make content. Bungie has shown that they're not smart and that they literally burn their money, which is why they had to survive off of Microsoft the first time because they literally almost went bankrupt. Then they left for Activision. And then they left Activision. Then they had to be saved again by Sony. Let's be honest. Now I'm very interested to go into bookmarks, because I did have like 2 slots. I do have two bookmarks I want to see. Let's kind of scope down. There we go. First off, I do want to look at Paul Tassie's. It does make it look bad. I do want to look at that, but let's look at this. Playing it now, Arc Raiders seems to come down to, do you want a normal extraction shooter that looks, sounds, and plays better than existing ones? Here. Meanwhile, Marathon is, I'm not even sure, coming away from this alpha, it just not seems to know what it wants to be. And I think that is huge. Marathon, my tagline for Marathon is, who is this meant for? Let's see how the comments are taking it. Nothing against you, Paul. I know you're just giving your personal opinion, but sometimes it seems you want Marathon to fail. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but that's my impression I'm getting. He's just being real. It's not like he's the only one worried about Marathon. The sentiment is not good. I respect that truly, but my personal opinion is, does it need work? Of course it does. And maybe a delay. But I'm saying this because I played it. Marathon had potential if they do the right tuning in it. I don't wish for it its failure. I feel like everyone is dogpiling Marathon's negative rather than praising what the game does better than the genre counterparts. The thing is, it doesn't do barely anything different. What are we praising? That's the problem. There's nothing that's worth praising because they don't do anything that's unique. Oh, lore? Fortnite did it first. Literally, there's lore in the quest of Fortnite when you're playing the Battle Royale. I love people. So let's go with this one. I cannot overstate how badly timed for Marathon this Arc Raider Alpha is. Let's read what this says. Let's see. I'm convinced there is an active psych op at play. How Marathon is getting so much criticism, but Arc isn't receiving any in the slightest, despite having all the same pain points outside maybe visuals beyond insane. Why does this seem so loud to me? So here, my thoughts. Let's read this one. It has pretty much everything people want to say is missing in Marathon crafting. Solo matchmaking. Oh my God. Proc chat, AI enemy variety, audio, skill tree. Wait, what? Detailed maps both in and out of the public interest. They are the same genre, so should be compared. It's just further along in development. MO. There's been several playtests for feedback. It comes out in 5 months. If this game is supposed to come out the same time Marathon does, one is got like what? You're not. Yes, you're right. One's further in development, which is why one needs to be delayed. That's very true, but they haven't announced a release date. Speculation is it will either be in the same window as Marathon or even later. What matters is how complete the game is when it launches. I think Marathon needs a delay to be anywhere close to complete. True, absolutely agree. It needs more time in the oven. They also need to stop catering to and have procs chat and also solo matchmaking and crafting, but they won't because they don't want people's hurt. Don't want to hurt their feelings. I tried for both. I tried to play both Marathon to give it a fair shake and this game to give it a fair shake. Neither of them interest me. If I'm going to be bluntly honest to you all, this is the art design is more appealing to me, but I could care less for both of them. I'd just rather play Tarkov. If I'm being bluntly honest, I'd just rather play Tarkov. No shade to Ark. I'm not going to sit there and glaze it just to piss. It would be funny to just piss everyone off at Marathon, but I'm not going to sit and glaze to glaze. Like, it's just not my cup of tea. Now, I need to find the comment. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to find this comment of me replying to this person. I want to find out who the hell. All right, here we go. I found it. Okay, here we go. So perfect. I don't disagree that they should be compared. I do disagree with one game getting seemingly endless amounts of harsh criticism and hate, while the other seems to be void of any. Ark is paid to play, has a battle pass, skins, microtransactions, all where Marathon is critiqued. And as someone, I agree that I don't like that something that's a paid product is also going to have microtransactions. I don't know if it's going to be $40 price tag. I think that's a bad idea for the same reasons I think Marathon. But the difference is, if I gun to my head, if I had to choose, I'd probably choose this over Marathon because this game already looks more complete. They focused on gameplay instead of a bunch of white dudes on a couch no one gives a shit about. The art design looks better. It has proc chat, crafting, solo matchmaking. This is everything people want, especially for casuals. The one thing that's going to murder Marathon is the lack of solo matchmaking. You want a game that's a social interaction game? Proc chat and solo matchmaking, you dumbasses. But Marathon has everything you're critiquing Ark with everything everyone wishes Marathon had. Why would Marathon not get more heat than Ark for that very reason? I'm reserving my personal judgment until I play both. There's a notable lack of criticism for Ark Raiders, which I find very odd. I think both games have merit and both have things that I have concerns over. The community at large, however, seems to be straw manning and making comparisons, avoiding critiques for one another. One is from a company that hasn't built years of negative reputation. The other company is a company that has neglected and consistently disrespected its community. Or you're literally doing now. You're condemning Marathon because of some imaginary piss contest of artificial hate you're going on with Bungie. Bro, at this point, you sound like a pirate software. The only thing imaginary is your delusion of Bungie and that they haven't killed their reputation. I'm over 10K hours into Destiny 2. Been here since D1. playing since the beta. I know more about this topic than you. Now go guzzle Bungie's balls, poor kid. I don't think he's a Bungie fanboy. In fact, he already said he has gripes for Marathon. So why are you pretend you didn't read that and that Bungie's balls were for some reason? Because he's gaslight. He's making gaslight comments, acting like there is no reason Bungie has earned any form of frustration, hate, or disapproval from its customers to community. By the way, that is not how you spell customers. Customers, community. There is a clear line of trying. There's a clear line of trying to have a honest take. Then there is trying to make a reality where there's a clear line of trying to have an honest take. Now, criticism. That's the difference. All right. You're either a teenager or so buck broken you don't even notice when you get bent over by corpo scum. True. Let's see. There was another one. As much as I love Embark, I cannot see them flying over Elixir after a Cyberpunk launch. So I'm live and we are reviewing Arc Raiders. This is made by the people who made the finals. Project CD Red made Cyberpunk 2077. Coming back to just let you know. just to let you know, we're live, kiddo. This is why people are shitting on Marathon more, is that you have people like, I don't understand why it gets so much hate. It's because one is made by one, it's half cooked. It doesn't meet the desires of the market. And Bungie has a negative reputation that people are so desperate to ignore, to act like doesn't exist. And you can do that. You can be delusional and live in your fantasy world, but that's not going to change the reality, and you will find out the reality. And we already have a little bit of insight of what it's going to look like. We're already able to peek into the window. We already have a window into the future. Interest is not there. And this, by the way, again, I point out, this isn't like, oh, well, this is the end of it. They just now made massive updates to change some of the core things of the game that makes it drastically different. Especially removing the aimbot that mouse and keyboard had. Now it's no longer, aimbot's no longer in the alpha. So that dramatically changes gunfights. Isn't that funny? How aimbot's now gone and now no one's watching it? I'm sorry. Isn't it funny how streamers are no longer streaming? That would have, man. I'm trying so hard to piss people off. Listen, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm not sold on Arc Raiders. Maybe I'll watch another video and give another take on it, someone who's played it, and see what their opinion. Like I did Marathon, but just on first impressions, similar to my first impressions with Marathon, I'm not excited. I do like the art design better. The weapons look better. The enemies look better. Giant ass robots look really cool. Third person, I can tell you right now, it's going to be a big miss. The fact that it's paid is a miss for me. The fact that you have solo queue, prox chat, all those things, that this game is already doing better than Marathon. I do absolutely think that Arc Raiders is going to hurt Marathon more than what Borderlands would. By the way, Borderlands will still be around because people will be currently playing it. So when you're playing Borderlands, that population is going to be like, huh, do I want to play Marathon or do I want to spend the same money on this game that has everything that I would like to play? Like solo, like you're playing a single player mission. I would like to play a single player multiplayer game. You can. Yeah, that's my take. We'll see. I have not played Arc Raiders or seen much about it, but based on what I have seen on first impressions, just like I gave first impressions on Marathon, I think people are more well receiving. The market has made its perception that they like the idea of Arc Raiders more than Marathon. I don't control the market. The market controls itself. Let me know what you think down below. Are you excited for Arc Raiders? If not, like, again, I'm not excited for neither one of them. I'm not going to sit there and try to glaze just because, you know, I'm not out here trying to make Marathon fail. I don't have to do anything. It's failing because of Bungie. Until next time, hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more, as always.